Every now and then, someone enters your life and changes everything, not because they're famous or wealthy, but because of their heart. Marcello is that person for me. He's a man who gave my sister continued life, the greatest gift one human being can give another. Welcome to Building Dreams Together, a podcast about connection, courage, and the daily actions that turn dreams into reality. Whether you're building your dream, rebuilding after a storm, or just looking for inspiration to take the next step, you're in the right place. This is Building Dreams Together. So, Marcello, welcome to Building Dreams Together. And I really thank you for being here. I want to start out right off the bat, how we met, how our lives intertwined. And the greatest gift that you gave my family. And wow, I didn't expect this. So I'll let you share.
Okay.
What you did.
I'm not sure you're going to appreciate what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. I had aspirations of promoting a movie based on several characters being drawn into the desert to create a village, a sustainable village, but I had no money. So I looked at different things that might bring in money, and one of them was donating a kidney. And so I don't recall. I mean, it's been a decade or more. So I reached out. I read some profiles. I read your sister's profile. I reached out to her, and they put me through a lot of different tests, both psychological and physical. And then they performed the operation. She was very lucky. Your sister's a very tiny person. And the doctors told me that it was like donating 2 kidneys because mine are so large. So I never asked you what her situation is right now. I hope she's okay.
She's okay. She's healthy. She's doing well. Thank God she's doing very well. And it's because of you. So, but how does that make you feel? I mean, you saved someone's life.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I try to do good in the world, you know. I don't know if I get any credit for attempting and not succeeding, but, you know, I feel good about it. I could have done it a lot. I could have robbed a bank to get the money, which probably make me feel less good about it.
I would think so, yes.
It hasn't hampered my life in the least. I'm pretty healthy for recently turned 67. So it does. It makes me feel good. Interestingly enough, when I have mentioned it in a very few conversations, people lauded that I did it. So, yeah.
People what?
Lauded. They approved.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I could use $3 words. No, I admit.
No, you were fine. I understand. I wanted to just, for me, what you did is the ultimate gift that people can give. I'm involved with an organization that provides kidneys for people all around the world, really now, and throughout the United States, and it's because of this, truly, you know. So it was a gift that keeps giving in many, many ways, So let's talk about your own life story, your dreams, your struggles. What has been the biggest thing that you've had to overcome, biggest challenges that you've had to overcome?
I've spoken and written the story in the past, and it begins with my father. My father had to leave Germany because we were Jewish. But his family had been in Germany for like 10 generations. So that was home. Then he left for Argentina because it was a neutral country. It was easy to get to, and built a life there. He was 14 when he arrived in Argentina. He built a life there. He had his own body and fender shop, had a wife, 2 children, owned a home. And then he had an uncle that said, "Come to America. The streets are paved with gold. All you have to do is bend down and pick it up." Suffice to say, that didn't happen. He struggled. We moved, I think, 4 or 5 more times by the time I was 18. He had businesses that began to succeed, and then what appeared to be external influences knocked him down again. All that goes to say that I think that a lot of my aspirations and work that I've tried to do is in helping people to find a home, to create a home, stability, which I think is sorely lacking for a lot of people, but especially young people. So the story, the screenplay that I wanted to promote was about the misfits of society being drawn to the middle of the desert near Salton Sea, and they build this community. It starts out calling it Junktown because it's the junk of people, and they recycle and they build a city or a town, and ends up being Solaris. So I spent quite a few years trying to promote it, but I didn't know how to promote a movie. I was just winging it. You're going back to moving. I moved around a lot. Every 6 months for decades, I'd move to a different place.
Well, before you get into that, because you just mentioned this, maybe somebody who's listening is in the film industry or who heard that little story that you just told, and it could be a compelling movie. You never know, maybe somebody will reach out to you. Things,
so.
I'm a believer that, everything happens for a reason, and you're here sitting here talking, and let's see, who knows, right?
I'm just trying to do good in the world, and then the reason I gave you all that background is because my inspiration is that other people don't have to move around and move around and move around. I look back 100, 150 years in America, and you had people stayed in one town for the most part. Some left.
Yeah.
They might have inherited their father's or their parents' occupation, and they were happily so. But now that's gone. I mean, not for everyone, but for a significant portion of the population, mostly young people, that's gone.
When you say that's gone, the opportunity?
Yeah, the opportunities of the impetus or the is to move out when you're a certain age. You're 18, you move out, you make your own life. Whereas previous to that, and in many countries around the world, multi-generational housing is perfectly normal, perfectly accepted. And I think that's a more natural way of life.
So are you saying you think that today kids are being asked to leave the house at 18 years old? Or no?
Encouraged to.
They're encouraged to be on their own.
Yeah.
After college. So when they're in their early 20s,
Mm-hmm.
they're encouraged to build a life for themselves. I'm one of those, maybe this is a place where we don't agree, again, because I'm one of those people that believe that kids should be doing that. They need to get out on their own. They need to become responsible. The challenge is today, a lot of kids don't believe they can.
I think there are a lot of hurdles these days that weren't when you were coming up or your parents were coming up. The cost of living's higher. Especially right now, before a few years ago, not that many years ago, kids were told if you get a college degree, then you'll get a great job and be on your way to having the American dream. But many, many, many young people are facing less opportunity, higher cost of getting a home, of being married, of having children. Everything is higher cost, more difficult than it was when you were coming up.
Yeah. Higher cost of having a home is 100% true, but so is the average income of a person today. When I was that age, look, I've shared in my podcast and in my program, I left school when I was 15 years old. By the time I was 18, and I was working, I was maybe making $2-3 an hour. I mean, that's what it was back then, not what minimum wage is today, and was able to save money and buy a home in my early 20s because of work ethic, because of putting myself out there, because of saving, because of family also helped me out. I mean, a little bit. They definitely helped those opportunities are still around kids today. It's just that I think society tries to keep them down. Society tries to tell them, no, we talk about it so much, like it's so hard for them to go out and find a job in this world of AI. And I was just talking to somebody else about AI. In this world of AI, they think that they're going to lose, that there's no opportunity, that so many people are going to lose their jobs. And they are going to lose some jobs. But the people who can embrace today's technology, the people embrace what's happening today, will find jobs. Mm-hmm. There's something. Here's what we can't control. And I've said a million times, we can't control the circumstances that life gives us. The only thing we can control is what we do with those circumstances, right? I mean, you can't control certain circumstances and things that happen in your life, but what you do with that. Here you are wanting to make a difference in people's lives. We come from totally different economic situations, political beliefs, but we both want to do the same thing. We both want to help people.
Yeah.
And so the message that I think that we could, I don't know if we could join forces on, is to tell young people the opportunity is there. You need to believe the opportunity is there. Come from a place. Discover. Learn about what's happening today, what you can do. Here's a real big truth about like AI, for instance. It's going to produce thousands and thousands of very well-paid jobs, maybe millions. I don't know exactly how big and broad the facilities that they're trying to build, but that's going to take human beings to manage those facilities, to build those facilities, to run those facilities.
And there'll also be opportunities that we're completely unaware of at this time.
Exactly.
Because AI can be an absolute helper, companion, partner in things on Earth and things under the sea and things in space. I absolutely agree. And to a certain extent, I agree with your characterization of, kids are depressed. But there's the reality. Income to expense ratio has greatly increased, or you understand.
Yeah, I understand.
So it's based on some truth.
Yeah.
I'm a big advocate for collaboration. The whole John Wayne, do it on your own thing, it looks good on paper, but collaboration is the way great things have been done throughout history. People coming together and, the guy holding the other end of the log when one person can't, and then expand that to, even though it was slave labor, the pyramids, the Great Wall, a lot of things in America in the 40s and 50s, huge projects. And they were done by a group of people collaborating.
Yeah, can I use this as a commercial for Building Dreams Together?
Sure.
Because that's what you just said, right? Collaboration is building dreams together. We don't do this alone. We do this as a group of people coming together. So, yeah, I'm going to cut and clip that.
Is this where you turn to the camera and do something above you with your what?
Yeah. I don't know, but I love that. So, you were a part of trying to expand this program. back in the very early stages of it, and then we kind of separated and it didn't happen. What do you remember about the I Believe in Me program, and what was it about I was talking to you back then that even triggered something, said, I want to get involved here?
It utilized things I believe in to help children to cope with how they feel, society, how they interact. It utilized some spiritual aspects that I'm a very big advocate of.
Like,
Yeah.
what do you?
Oh, you used visualization, storytelling, experiential exercises. That's what I recall.
Yeah. What do you use to get through? Like, what do you tell yourself? What would you want to share with people when you're feeling self-doubt, or you're feeling uncertain, or you're feeling things aren't going the way you want it to go? What do you tell yourself?
I still struggle with it. I really do, a lot. I'm trying to do a writing project, and I keep getting resistance. A friend of mine recommended a book called The War of Art, and the whole thing is about resistance.
Mm.
And the answer is just do it. Just put one foot in front of the other, plod on, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Do a little a day, do a lot a day, but don't stop. That's the whole message of the book.
Right.
Overcome resistance by overcoming resistance.
So are you doing that?
Not lately. I've had a lot of things going on. I've become involved with several things at the church I go to, as well as advocacy groups. But I haven't. I mean, I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, I started out doing the project, and is it all right if I explain the project?
Absolutely.
I went to ChatGPT, and I said, give me a list of 1,000 things that people could be hopeful of. And I named the project Hope Floats All Boats. And the concept was it would give me a one line, I would write a paragraph, and then I found another AI program for illustrating. And so I did the basic first 30. I told it to produce a random 30 from the 1,000. And anyway, I did my 30 blurbs, I did my 30 illustrations, and then I hit a block.
And what is that block?
I've got to go back and number the illustrations to the messages. I probably have to increase or refine the illustrations. And then I have to do something I've never done, which is figure out how to produce a book and distribute it.
So in real time, right now, as we're talking, what would be the next step? You see, what happens is I find for myself in life, when I take on challenges, when I took on creating the program, when I took on doing this podcast, or taking the I Believe in Me program and building it to be an online program, the challenge in life that we have is we don't know. And some people feel like they have to know how to do something before they actually do it. And my belief, and what has been my success, and what I'm trying to share with the world, is you don't have to know. I don't know how to do this. I didn't know how to do a podcast. I didn't know how to build an online program. I didn't know how to do this. I just trusted that I will, when the time comes, each step of the way. And you take a step forward each day. You shared with me about this a while ago. And this is a great conversation that we're having here now, because you shared with me how far you came with it. And I remember telling you I thought it was an awesome idea. I think that there is some value there that you can share and go with people. And you just need to keep taking the step. We tell ourselves a story that blocks us. It's a story. Mm-hmm. It's all it is. And you shared about a tool that we teach in the program called visualization. I ask you, do you visualize it every day? When you wake up in the morning, you sit there and you get into that quiet space of meditation and close your eyes and see yourself in the process of creating this. See the dream, actually, not even in the process of doing it, see the end result. When I visualized, when I was looking at creating this type of thing, I saw myself sitting in the seat. You see, I'm sitting in the seat. I'm here. And I lived it until I got here. This was the goal, and I lived that dream until I got to this space. And the same thing with everything that I've done in my life, in the real estate career, and in dealing with the biggest grief that I've had, which is the loss of my son. And what happened? It's almost a year ago now. And how you take that and turn it into how I've taken that and turned it into fuel, turned it into strength to continue on, because what you're sitting in is Sean's condo, and this is the home now of the foundation, and I'm using his energy, his aura, his presence to drive this home. So I guess what I want to say to you, Marcello, is this episode is so powerful for people to listen to and hear, because here you have a dream, you have a goal, you have something, and there are no accidents that we're here. Maybe this is to impart, live the dream, live it. Can you envision that? Can you see that?
It's interesting. I've done a lot of that type of work. I go to Mile High Church, and one of the key concepts is to see the end. But I've struggled with it. I'm really good at starting things,
Mm-hmm.
and then I let resistance take over.
Yeah.
But if I can share something I saw yesterday, I saw an interview with Eddie Murphy, and he said that from a very young age, he said, I knew I was going to be famous. I knew I was going to be famous. And that is exactly what a lot of philosophies, including your own, indicate. But I've had challenges.
The key, one of the keys, one of the things I say, or Mike Dooley coined the phrase "thoughts become things," and I came up with our imagination, thoughts, words, and actions taken in daily steps in alignment with our goals and dreams. Anything's possible. Our thoughts, words, we have to change the script. You see, I struggle with it instead of, I have some issues with it and I'm getting through it. I'm working my way through it. I'm flipped the script. I can do this. Yeah, I recognize, thank you very much, this thought that's telling me I can't do it, or that I'm getting blocked, or thank you very much for showing up, but not today. Today I'm going to choose this. Acknowledge those thoughts. Can't push them away.
That's what I'm doing, is acknowledging those thoughts. And I understand very clearly about how you speak. You're basically speaking to yourself, and you're speaking that reality into the future, into the law, into the future.
Yeah. Yeah. And I use it, and it doesn't always work. I use it even within the pains in my body. Thank you very much for showing up today, but I don't really want you around right now. Thank you. I appreciate it. Sometimes it goes away. Sometimes it doesn't. So it's, there are issues that happen, but it's an attempt. Mm-hmm. I think that we have, if we surrender, and there is an amount of surrendering in this process, but if we surrender, if we say, I can't do this and I'm done, we lost. We're going to lose. And
I have begun a process of gratitude. Every morning before my feet hit the floor, I think of something I'm grateful for, and I say, Baruch Hashem, praise God.
Yeah.
Whenever something good happens, praise God. I almost got in an accident coming here. I didn't. Baruch Hashem.
You opened up another topic for me when you say that. Well, when you say that, you say Baruch Hashem, and you talk about Jewish background. And I know that you go to a church and you go to a temple.
Mm-hmm.
You go to both. Talk to us about that shared.
I've been going to Mile High Church, which is a center for spiritual living, for, I think, 2.5 years. I've taken many courses that, to a great extent, back up what you say. They have a specific type of prayer called a treatment. There are steps, acknowledging God, acknowledging your relationship to God, specifying what you want in a it's already done situation, gratitude, and then letting it go to God.
Right.
And then I go to Temple Emmanuel because I'm fascinated by the stories. I don't believe in an anthropomorphic God, but there's ethics there. The core of the Torah is this is the way you behave. And it was written for a group 2,000 years ago. Yeah. So the whole warring and punishing and all that was because that's all they understood.
Yeah.
But the ethic is have faith, which is believing things before they happen. Act in a manner that is beneficial to yourself and your fellow man. The rest is stories, and I like the stories. And I go to Torah study more than I do to the Friday services.
Yeah, I attend a Torah study class, if you will, every Wednesday. And 3 weeks ago, I started creating a video that I've been posting on my YouTube channel about those stories each week, about the Torah portion for that week. And I'm matching it up to the portion that we read in Rabbi Sax's book called I Believe. So he wrote a book that walks us through the Torah throughout the year. And so we take a chapter, it matches up to the Torah portion of the week, and we're doing that. But so my reading isn't studying out of the Torah, it's studying out of his book, which is an interpretation of the portion of the Torah. So that's how I do it.
Well, what they say about Jews is take 2 Jews and you'll have 3 opinions.
Yes, for sure. That is correct. That is right. Yeah. So I feel like we're going all over the place in this conversation, but it's just a real conversation. Yeah. We're living inside of my program. We have this thing called Living by a Code, which is being real, raw, and relevant. To get the result you want, we're just being real and raw and just going with the flow. So I love that. I wanted to just touch on, and I don't want to get into a lot of politics, but you and I come from 2 different sides, and we've had some nice conversations. We don't agree on a lot of things. How is it? How do you see that we can sit here like this? And when I saw you downstairs and brought you up here, we embrace. And a lot of people can't do that, Marcello.
It's a sad state of affairs.
Isn't it?
We can do it because we have history. I'm hoping we each respect the other in a certain way. We can understand that people have different viewpoints and not get angry or triggered by them. And in all honesty, it takes work. It takes, if I feel wound up by something you say, I don't necessarily have to get wound up. I can go, yeah, or internally, even without doing it, and continue the conversation.
What a lesson. Because there are families that are broken up over this. So when you talk about we have history, we don't have history of a lifetime of parents and a child or brothers and sisters or cousins or friends. I mean, I have friends that I've been friends with a long time who honestly will talk to me, but we don't see each other anymore. We don't, they're not comfortable. I'm comfortable. I could do that, but they're not comfortable. No, and it's a shame. It's a shame. And so I love that we see things totally different.
Mm-hmm.
I think the end result we both want the same. Our path to get to the end result is different. So we see it differently from that perspective. Not that we want. I think we all want the same, which is
to
live in peace.
More
Yeah.
passionate purpose. There's a woman named Teresa Zigneric. Anyway, she wrote a book about passionate purpose. And if I may, I think people need four things: food and shelter, security, passionate occupation, and a nurturing community. That's it. I'll be happy.
I love that. I agree. I agree. We both want the same thing.
Of course.
Yeah. It's how do we get there? But so the message that I want to put out to the world, to anyone who's listening here, who has trouble in their family or in their relationships, is look at this. You don't have to clash. We could disagree and still love each other. We can disagree and still respect each other. We can disagree and still be there for each other. So I thought that was, I wanted to bring it out so people understand that.
If I may, I think it's the difference between saying you are that or you think that. It says that there's room for change either way, rather than locking a person into a box and saying that's what they are because that's what they're saying.
Yeah. Right. You're not that. This is part of it's just it's a thought. So when the name of the program, Building Dreams Together, when I say those words, what does that mean to you?
To a great extent, I think it means actually building. I think if people do things together, that brings them together. If they volunteer it, they see an end, they all see the same end. And it could be a building or a farm or it could just be a philosophy. But I know I shared the EveMD project with you. The whole point of that was people coming together, building something, owning something together, having to rely on each other for its success.
Mm-hmm. In closing, what's the one message that you want to tell either a child or an adult or anyone who right now might be feeling alone or feeling alone and without hope?
Breathe and don't feel at all ashamed to reach out for help. Giving someone else the opportunity to help is a blessing for them. People want to help. So accept help. Understand that being helped to do something, to get over something, is a natural thing. There are a lot of free and low-cost counseling. I'm in counseling, online counseling. Just reach out for help. Awesome. Get over it. The next day, breathe the next moment. Things could get better.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I do have one more question. You had said that part of who you are was asking questions. Do you have anything you want to know from me? Any question you have of me?
Where do you think your next step is beyond this? Or where does this take you? Or what message are you trying to convey?
Great question. Great question. What's my next step? I don't know what my next step is. I guess as I was speaking earlier, I trust the process. I trust the door will open when the time comes to open. When I do my automatic writing and I talk to God, if you will, and Sean,
I'm perfectly comfortable with this. God.
Yeah. So when I do my writing and I ask, what is the next step? Or what do you want me to learn today? What do you want me to know? I trust what the pen writes. And it writes, a lot of times it will reveal itself when it's time. It will come. So right now I'm living my dream of doing the work. And the ultimate goal is to reach as many people as I can, to help heal the people who are hurting, to help motivate people who just want more in their lives, to live more fulfilled, to understand that a really good, well-balanced life is, for me, it is focusing on those 4 pillars of body, being, balance, and business, life, L-I-F-E, longevity, inner peace, family and friends, economics, and education. So it's to spread that word, to reach as many people as I could. That's the goal, I guess, if you will. And the dream is doing what I'm doing. I'm living it, doing this. So thank you for asking that. Yeah, this was great. This was awesome. If today's conversation inspires you, please like it, subscribe, and share it with someone you love.